I'm Matt Vest, and this is a podcast about being friends with those who have a different worldview than you. We laugh, we cry, we disagree, but in the end, we're always friends. This is Matt Vest versus his friends. Welcome to Matt Vest versus his friends, the only podcast sure to be more disappointing than a DC talk announcing a cruise.
What? I don't understand all this crap, this DC whatever thing that you've been talking about.
That was also the worst, delivery of a line ever in the history of all line
but
deliveries.
then there was the time he did Justin Bieber lyrics not that long ago, and he stumbled over those, too.
Yeah, that was...
He's just a stumbler. He's the stumbler. That's what he is. He's the stumbler.
But what if I stumble?
Hey, welcome to Matt Vest versus his friends, where Matt explains what the hell this DC thingy is.
So, DC Talk is pretty much the Beatles of the Christian music world,
Which doesn't
I don't know.
doesn't really say much.
Because I've never heard of them, so...
What about Stryper?
Okay, in the 90s, they were the Beatles of the Christian music industry.
I was a child in the 90s.
Okay.
What about Stryper?
Who's that?
That's a Christian metal band.
Oh, so another...
That fell into drugs.
Fail. Oh.
And disarray.
And
We'll
so
pray for them later.
they broke up, or DC Talk, well, they took what they called an intermission, or a break. That was in 2000, so it's been 16 years.
Did everyone go to the lobby?
And so then a couple of weeks ago, they put on their Facebook page, it just was this very ominous black picture with 2017 on it. And so everyone's like,
They're going to kill themselves in 2017.
they're going to get back together. Oh, yeah. Everyone thought tour or new album, all this stuff. And then the day came of the announcement, and it basically was that they're doing basically a cruise. So you can...
And all 5 of you were disappointed.
That's not true. So everyone was disappointed because...
All 5 of you.
You have to spend, the cheapest sort of ticket was, for the cruise was, $700. So it's out of Florida. So for someone like me in California, I'd have to fly to Florida.
Isn't, doing a cruise, what you do when you, you're not even a band?
No, you know what? You would sort of...
Backstreet Boys did one of those.
There you go.
But so did Paramore, and so did Weezer.
That's what they do when they don't want to put out a new album, but they all need some more money.
And they don't want to go on a full-fledged tour.
Especially, I'm not going to say in general about all DC Talk fans. I just highly doubt that all of them have thousands of dollars just in case they need to go to Florida to go on a cruise for a show.
So that was...
I feel like they would be doing a show for people that were already on the cruise and didn't care.
No, it's not only DC Talk, but it's... So all the members of DC Talk are now in sort of other projects, other bands. And so it's all that also on the tour. So it's a big show.
On a boat.
Yeah, on a boat. And I get it, why that would be fun if your favorite band of all time or one of your favorite artists just... 5 days, nothing but seeing that artist and liked bands.
Yeah, but again, who are there a lot of millionaire DC Talk fans sitting around if only they would do something that cost a great deal.
That's why some people felt slighted because it's I don't get to go to this thing. And there's no way now, though, they do cruises, and this cruise included, allow payment plans, so you can make payments for the next year and a half.
So in other words, Megan's going to kill you.
Well, I'm not planning on going, but... So it's a good idea, but it's especially not a good idea if your band's been broken up 16 years, and this
That's what I'm saying. It seems like the most random thing ever. In fact, I don't know if you noticed, because I don't know if anybody would have sent you invites for these, but for a little while on Facebook, last week, there were all these random fake shows being promoted, all of these fake events, it was, what was it? Oh, it was Tool plays an abandoned Home Depot parking lot.
Yeah,
exactly. And there was a bunch of them, and they were all really funny. And then there was even one that said something about Limp Bizkit in Ohio,
and people showed up.
I was really surprised. I was like, "Wow, they can still draw! Wow, that's pathetic."
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
Hey, we talked about Limp Bizkit not that long
People
ago.
wanted to break stuff, apparently.
Yeah.
Hey.
And they wanted
Break
some
stuff.
nookie and
Yeah, cookies.
So you can stick
Stick it up your-
yeah.
Yeah.
whatever that was. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a state that Trump did very well in.
Yeah. Not
Oh
surprising.
goodness.
Anything exciting happened?
So anyway, Richard's here. Hi, I'm Richard. Danny's here. Matt's here.
Woo!
We're all
I'm
here.
Danny.
Yeah. How was your
Yeah.
week? It was pretty good.
Matt doesn't like my dress today.
No, what happened was Matt. She came in and Matt's like, "I hate your dress. You look stupid." That's not what happened.
It's not at all.
My dress is cute.
It is cute. It is a nice dress.
We recorded Danny's house.
That's true. We do.
Danny was 2 minutes late.
Which wasn't a problem.
And I sat in front of the house for 15 minutes. I would have started without you guys, but I didn't have the.
Yeah,
the
Richard
tablet.
was like extra good this week. He was like, I'm going to show up early, and then of course.
Oh well, there's the Del Taco real close.
I would have
You should-
started without you guys and talked about Justin Bieber lyrics and stuff.
So Danny's running in from an event, and she's wearing.
I'm gonna call it. It was brunch.
Okay, brunch, and
So- to
Spanish
Matt-
place, Spanish tapas.
To Matt, brunch is an event.
yeah. Well, no, but it wasn't. It was a going away thing for someone.
It was like our friends are moving to Houston, so they had like a brunch at this place. But like literally, I needed someone to translate the dang menu. It was all like Spanish and like Spanish, not Mexican. And like I didn't understand most things, but
What's in the torquemada?
that thing and the stuff.
So yeah, I don't hate Danny's dress. I just said it's okay if you want to change out of your dress. It's fine.
In other words, I hate your dress.
That's not. That's not.
And Danny was offended, and then Matt was like, I didn't mean it like that. All I meant was, I hate your dress. That's all I mean.
I'll try. I'll be less caring. Will that help?
Basically, what Matt was saying was if he had worn anything fancy, meaning anything other than jeans and a t-shirt,
Yeah.
so a dress, if he'd worn a dress to brunch, he'd want to change out of his
If I was going to
dress.
hang out with my friends, I wouldn't hang out in what I in my own head.
Keep
is
in mind, I
fancy
have
clothes.
a birthday party to go to in another hour and a half.
Most people don't like
Woohoo.
to change 8 times a day.
No, I get it.
I don't. So
but
I
I
put
did
on
not
one thing.
know about said birthday party.
I told you. I said we have to figure out the podcast at a different time because I have 2 events that are staggered
I didn't know about two. I just
before and after.
okay. So let's just take a really
So Matt
long
hates your
episode.
dress, and he's just a
So
really bad
Spanish
person.
food and sushi in the evening.
So I was wearing
A dress.
No.
Was it a pretty dress?
I was in a Starbucks this
beautiful
week.
dress?
And
Were
this
you in high heels?
No. This woman, I was wearing a Say Ferris shirt, and she's like, "Oh, so Say Ferris, I love that movie," and because Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and she goes, "But you're not old enough to remember the movie," and I was like, "So you assume I'm wearing a shirt of a movie I know nothing about? Like you probably just." Now I think what she meant is you didn't see it in the movie theater. Like that.
I think she
sort of-
just meant she thought you were a lot younger than you look, or than you are.
Yeah,
That's probably what she meant.
And
I have people do that to me all the time.
And I told her, I'm like, no, I'm 39. She's like, really? And
So she was hitting on you.
yeah, but then she also was like, but wait, that movie's like 25 years old, or 25 years old, maybe it was 86, I think. So 2006, 20.
This is important. They got to do the math.
Anyway,
you don't need a
so
calculator.
no, it's 30.
Perhaps an
It's
abacus.
30 years old, and so she's like, so you were like 9 when you saw that movie, and I'm like, yeah, probably. I did see it in the theater, and she's like, your parents let you go see that, and I'm like, yeah. And I sort of thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I guess that is a bit sort of odd, considering my dad wouldn't let me watch like Three's Company. Like,
Maybe they,
Come and knock on our door.
maybe they didn't pay attention to the ratings, and they just and they
We've been
went,
waiting
like,
for
oh my God,
you.
this movie contains inappropriate behavior.
well, also, ratings back then were very different because, like,
They weren't that different.
see, here's the thing: Airplane, the first one, has full frontal nudity. I think twice,
Woo!
and it's
Hey!
and it's PG-13. That today would be R.
Yeah,
That
that's
movie
true.
today would be R.
That's true. It
So
would.
I remember when I was working at Target one time, this kid went to his dad. Was like, the kid couldn't have been like maybe he was 12, and the dad was like, or the kid was like, Dad, let's get this movie, holding Airplane. And Dad looks at it and is like, PG-13, oh, okay, should be okay. And I remember it's funny, and I'm just like, dude, really? Does Dad not remember? And I guess it's not necessarily
How old was the kid?
Like 12 or something.
And that's going to be the greatest experience of his
Oh, he's already seen it on the internet.
Well, my guess was the kid and probably the dad had most recently seen it on television because it was.
So he saw the edited version.
Yeah, it was like Comedy Central
Yeah.
before they actually had actual programs in Comedy Central. So,
Well, like Danny said, he's got the internet. Who cares?
yeah,
Just saying.
this was several.
Probably
years.
has a cell phone too. He can get it anywhere.
Well, this was a few years ago. It was before.
Before the internet existed?
It was definitely before it was in the palm of our hands for sure.
So on the top of your desk?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Have to
Was
walk-
it back in the day of?
No.
Probably not
No,
quite.
that
That had just probably ended. It was probably like 2003, 2004. So.
Oh, damn, that was a while back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you still remember that?
In 03, I graduated from 8th grade.
Ah, we're old.
I do that to my husband all the time.
God.
All right. Well,
All right, so let's jump into some stuff. But you can check us out on Facebook.com/MadFest versus his friends. Also, this just changed, and we're changing it as of today. Come see...
Which will actually be as of yesterday when they're listening.
Yes. So, as of right now, it's changing. We were planning to go see the new X-Men movie on Saturday, May 28th. Now we're going to go see it Thursday night.
Opening night. Woo!
So, because Danny realized she had some plans, and so we're going to move
It's called a lake and a boat.
So we're going to go see it on Thursday night.
What bands are going to play on your boat?
Whatever I put into the...
Oh, so it's not like one of those cool band promo
No.
promo
It's definitely not a DC talk cruise.
So yeah,
Greatest band.
The bands playing on my boat will be better,
Greatest
guaranteed.
band Danny's never heard of.
So we're gonna go see it. More than likely, still going to Triangle Square Cinemas.
It's not called Triangle Square anymore. It's called The Triangle.
Oh, I'm
Please.
They're
I'm sorry.
fancy now, Matt.
sorry.
You also didn't actually let us say how our weekends were.
How
No,
was your,
First
your
you
week.
forgot
You're supposed
your
to ask
week.
how the week was.
Your week.
how was your week?
Well, I was just pointing it out. I don't really know. Same
You
thing.
don't
every
actually
week.
have anything to say.
I felt like we had enough chit chat and you
How
talking.
was your
a lot of
weekend and
chit-chat.
week, Richard?
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
Okay, cool. Do we only get 3 words to describe it?
Yeah. You have to compose it like a haiku.
Okay, I don't know how to do that.
Neither do I. So just make something up.
Because I'm pretty sure that wasn't.
Soul
a haiku.
Cycle, tacos, podcast.
Woo! I like how you worked what's happening right now into what happened in your week.
Oh,
even though
okay.
clearly they know you were on a podcast.
Soul Cycle, tacos,
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
and
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
Taking way too long.
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
I can't think right now.
This is radio. You gotta say something.
This is
They don't-
radio?
Not really. It's a podcast.
they
Whatever.
can't
say- Anyway.
Okay, what are your 3 words, Matt?
Oh wow! Of my entire week.
Yeah.
Because you know how he likes to jabber on about how he was on the line at the supermarket and sneezed.
Achoo!
Friends. Work.
Ross and Rachel.
Work.
I love Ross and Rachel.
And
Rachel's a babe.
and visiting child.
Taking forever.
Okay.
Because the
Yeah. You only got 3 words.
anyway, so I cheat. It's my podcast.
Richard made it sound too easy, like really 3 words.
Exactly.
Because I knew what I was going to say. Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
Is that from something?
It's from my life.
Oh. What are muffler men?
Men that are made out of mufflers.
Oh, it sounded kind of like a dirty thing.
Well, pornbugs. But Muffler Men,
Oh,
that's a
like
separate thing.
porn bugs is one thing?
Pornbugs and Muffler Men. They're two
Porn,
separate.
comma,
well, if you
bugs,
look close
comma.
enough at the Muffler Man, I'm pretty sure he's got some porn bugs crawling on him.
Okay, I
But-
believe it.
But he's gonna get that taken care of.
Oh, so like is a porn bug like an STD?
No.
I'm
My week
confused.
was not filled with STDs. No.
What?
My week was not filled with STDs.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Congratulations.
I'm saying it all like it's a positive.
All right.
Pornbugs and Muffler
Question
Men.
of the week.
What's the question of the week, Maddie Matt?
All right, so
Yes, Maddie Matt.
Maddie Matt.
Maddie
Matt.
Matt.
Maddie Matt.
Matt.
does
Maddie.
stop it? Does gender have any definite characteristics, defining characteristics? Does gender have any defining characteristics?
Pause. There was a very big string in my eye, and I just pulled it out.
So if you're female, you have big strings in your eyes. You gotta pull them out.
Factual, like
Yes.
scientifically.
Well,
factual.
you know when you have like a fuzz in your eye, and then you like get it, and you're like, oh my gosh, that was like a fuzz in my eye.
Well, since
Yes.
you're the one that had the question, give your opinion first. You say words. You talk into microphone. R2D2 space.
I hate you. It's super
Pornbugs and
difficult.
Muffler Men.
Like I think, obvious beyond the obvious. Boys have penises, girls have vaginas. But that's not technically
Unless
they don't.
Those are secondary physical sex characteristics.
Yep.
Secondary? How are they secondary?
That's just what they're called.
What would be first?
Just keep going.
Well, because then there's gender identity versus, your kind of
Well,
like,
that's sort of where the question comes from for me. Is like,
Are you thinking of transitioning to a female, Matt?
yes.
What would we call him? Her.
Maddie. Mattina.
Mattina. Mattina Matt?
Mattina Vestarina.
Anyway.
It doesn't change your last name.
It does now.
Well, so for me, there's a lot of talk that gender is now like a fluid concept, but at the same time, when someone goes into another gender, switches genders, they still adhere to they wear dresses, they get long hair, they grow breasts, they still
Yeah,
adhere.
but they don't always have to do all of those things.
Yeah,
It's
they might still have
it's
a
the
penis.
same as if a woman doesn't
Right.
put on makeup, she's still a woman, but a man who's transitioning to a woman who has always felt like a woman might actually have to
Okay,
wear
so
even
you
more
say
makeup.
felt like a woman. What does that mean? It has to mean something. 'cause
felt
it-
like you're the masculine image of yourself doesn't match up how you feel in your own head, and it feels wrong.
So masculinity and femininity.
Femininity?
Yeah, slipping over that. Those are real things. Those
are specific things, but
But that's more because society over the years has made certain things masculine and certain things feminine, right?
And you know what? I honestly think it's worse in a lot of other cultures, like when you learn about people speaking Spanish, how they actually have
Yes.
totally. This root beer bottle could be have feminine or masculine characteristics. No, it's a root beer bottle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No,
What do you mean?
Well, there's a feminine and a masculine version of most words. So,
Yeah.
ella versus ello.
Do you not know about this? Or?
Like
I
abuelita,
I never
abuelito.
learned Spanish.
No, you didn't have to learn. I don't know Spanish.
But
I just know a little bit about
there's
it.
there's feminine. There's a feminine way to say things and a
Yeah.
masculine way to say things. So most of them have the the or the o.
Sure.
It's
So-
basically an odd way of distinguishing things that don't necessarily require such distinctions.
Yes.
Is it a masculine elevator or a feminine elevator? It's just an elevator!
But
Well, I don't know if
mean,
it's like that on
I don't think
everything.
American culture does that.
No, we don't.
No. He just said that he thinks it's worse in other
Yeah, I was
cultures.
saying in other cultures, I think they're more like that, and
That's
I think that's
specifically
actually a
him.
good.
But
thing.
if we stick with people, not necessarily things or how we use
People,
them.
this culture, not other cultures. We're not being.
Well, I can't speak too drastically on other cultures, there's clearly physical differences at times, right? And you said,
Well, at times, because I've seen some women that I was not sure they were women.
right?
But that doesn't mean that they didn't have female genitalia.
Yes, but isn't genitalia separate from gender? Does your genitalia make you your gender? Or
I think that's actually what I meant by secondary sexual characteristics.
Yes.
That means a physical thing.
like that your genitalia is your secondary.
Yes.
Secondary.
Yes,
So
yes.
whatever the hell it is.
Secondary to what?
Because gender does not necessarily describe your sexual parts. Gender.
Okay. So
Or your sexual preference.
So is it somehow wrong then when a child is born to go, this is a male, this is a female on a birth certificate?
I wouldn't think that was wrong.
Are
no.
we limiting their life possibilities by boxing them in?
No, because
if we
isn't
box,
that your sex can be different than your gender, though?
Not to some people.
That's literally just
But-
saying, this is what you have, this is what we're putting. You know, you can decide later on what you want to do with your life when you get a little bit older. So, no, I don't think...
So, all behaviors, all things you get to choose?
No, I wouldn't say that.
So...
I don't think you choose your sexual preference, but
right.
I'm sure a lot of people do think that you choose your sexual preference.
But what I mean is, because, like...
What do you mean? I'm very confused.
When you said...
He wanted it to be a head scratcher.
Yeah, but you can't scratch your head and talk at the same time. We need to know
I
what
can't
to say.
because I'm a woman.
Can you? Well, that's what's different.
When you say, like, you know, someone, they felt more feminine...
Yes.
What does that
I
specifically...
don't know, bring Bruce Jenner on the show. I mean, Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay, so, but if you say you feel, Danny, if you feel feminine, what does that mean to you?
You know what? I think it's one of those things that you don't really pay attention to and you don't notice or really care about unless you feel that you are like
Not what you should be.
Yes.
No.
Because to me that's just I wouldn't think about like, oh, I feel feminine because I'm wearing a dress. Like
No.
I feel just as feminine in a dress and heels like I'm wearing today as I do when you guys see me and I'm in like yoga pants and slippers and my hair.
Right.
You know, it doesn't that's not I think that you really only notice it as a defining thing if you feel like how Richard said in your head, like, I'm not what I'm supposed to be, and you're having that internal struggle.
Yeah, but
That's just my husband opening the door.
but that's the thing for me is like it must somehow mean something, because when someone feels out of place, or the opposite of what they feel, there must be a feeling known. There's like I'm not who I'm supposed to be, so therefore I must be this other thing, and that, you know, like masculinity. Like for me, I tend not to like at churches and stuff. I don't like typical guys groups and men's groups because, you know, they go out and want to, you know, blow things up and shoot guns.
Oh, see, I want to be part of the men's group because they get to do that stuff. Women have tea parties and crap. What's with that?
Now, I wouldn't necessarily want to...
See, that's weird to me, because I'm not in any church groups, and I don't know anybody
You're not?
that
You want
socializes...
to come to the women's tea party?
Yes, that socializes by going out and blowing things up and shooting guns.
It's not technically what most men's groups do, but...
They'll go like paintballing.
Yes.
Or like skeet shooting, like as an outing.
like hang out with
I
their
still
friends.
might know some people who've been paintballing, but not regularly, and definitely not skeet shooting.
But like, and even like with... Like, but in, like... Just
Traditionally, it tends to be sports.
right.
I'd probably be more down to blow stuff up than I would be to watch sports.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. Actually, sports is probably more typically what a man's
I would think
I would
Yes.
be down to do both of those things more than I would to go to a women's tea party.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So you're a lot like my wife in that fashion, where...
I'll go to whatever women's event she makes up.
Which she probably wouldn't make one up because she hates them.
Megan, I got a women's event for us. It's called Mario's, Margaritas, and appetizers.
Go.
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
So, like, I can see
Not that.
where, like, things like tea parties and shooting
Well, that's the
guns
thing. You have-
are social constructs that we just almost chose and created
Exactly.
ourselves. But when it comes down to this idea of, like, I feel feminine, or I feel masculine, those have to mean something. They have to... And then where
Yes,
do they
masculine tends to mean more like, as far as like aggressiveness,
Yeah.
or like you know.
Well, and I think I always tell Travis, I'm not taking the trash out. That's a boy job. Like, it's not,
See?
it doesn't
It's
have to be a boy
It's
job.
just weird.
But in our house, that's what we have decided is a boy job. You know what the girl job is? The girl job is to cook dinner. That doesn't mean that's across the board, but that's how it works for us.
Yeah.
So,
I think traditionally society has been far more restrictive and far more in establishing of arbitrary rules as to what people can and cannot do and like, and as far as things like that. Like, like 100 years ago, people wouldn't even think it was okay for Danny to say that the tea party wasn't okay to go to. She has to go to the damn tea party. She's not allowed to go shoot guns or blow stuff up.
And I wouldn't be able to wear pants. I'd have to wear dresses.
Yes, exactly.
And skirts all
That's
day.
forbidden for women to do. That's not okay. You know what I mean? Like, so I think as time has gone on, things have gotten more loose because people realize, like, people are people. People have different interests. Not everyone is exactly the same.
Sure, I can, like, let those things go of, like, you know, like when Target said they're going to do away with sort of identifying things by gender rather than saying this is the girl aisle.
Boys, action figures, girls, dolls.
Right.
Oh, well, and I think, didn't they, now it's just like infants and children's sections. It's not like boy and girl.
Yeah, pretty much. But
Which,
still...
regardless, I'd probably dress... Whatever child I have will probably be dressed in the stuff in the boys section because it's cuter than all this pink crap.
Well, okay, then let's go this way then. What would you say then if you were if you had a child, you were at the store, and say you had a boy who wanted a doll? What would you say? Would you care?
The doll.
You wouldn't care? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't care.
For me, that stuff is like... That stuff is truly secondary. It's stuff we've sort of created. And like I, being a preschool teacher for 8 years now, yes, I have seen dads see their kids playing dress up and wearing a dress and be uncomfortable with it. Now, the vast majority of them are just like, they get it. Their child's just playing dress up. They could be wearing a football helmet just as easily to pretend.
Yeah.
And they're just repeating what they see. It's not necessarily who they are. It's who, like, for the child, they're pretending.
Yeah.
But you know, if someone says they feel like a woman or they feel like a man,
then
then,
I feel like
that has to have some amount of defining
okay.
idea. You know, I don't even know what the word would be for it. Like, it has, because obviously the vast majority of people, one, they identify with the gender in which they were born with, like, as far as like their sex organs, like they generally identify as that. And then most people will, is it fair to say that most girls are more intuitive to the emotional setting of a situation than guys are? Like, because I don't want to say
I'm not.
Like, you think you're more...
No.
And I don't want to say, like, girls are more emotional, but girls are better at reading emotion than guys are.
I think maybe across the board, but in general, I've never been good at that. I've always been more of the, like, what's the issue? What is this?
Why are you crying in front of me?
What's going on?
But yeah, I would say in general.
Yeah. But is that sort of wrong to have that idea in our heads, or to say that...
I wouldn't say it's wrong to have an idea in your head like that just sort of helps you...
Or to even say that it is generally true.
I wouldn't say that would be wrong either.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would.
Well, obviously... Well, no, there are some
that's not really even a detrimental thing to say, like, someone is just in tune to, like, other people's emotions.
But, no, I'm very...
Now, it would be another thing to say, like, you know, women are always, you know, bad at doing something. Then
bad at driving and stuff
or
like
they're,
that.
like, bad in a, you know... any kind of situation, like they're terrible at taking out the trash.
But if you say that
they go out there with the trash, they go to the trash can, and then they throw it in the street for some reason. What's that all about? That's why men have to do it.
But I'm just saying, would it be...
If it gets me out of taking out the trash, then yes.
would it be wrong to generalize an idea such as girls are more likely to be able to read the emotions of a situation than a guy would? I
don't think that's necessarily wrong.
Yeah, and obviously I know it's not specifically true because
I'm interested to know what made you what sparked it, so that I can know what's at the root of your questions.
Just all the sort of gender fluid talk in general. And
I told you he's considering transition.
I guess so.
And you know, specifically this week, it probably came out of the fact that the federal sort of education board basically put out their notification about the bathroom. Public schools bathrooms now have to be essentially that people get to go where they feel they identify with, the gender they identify with.
Well, as far as like,
but we've already talked about that, and
as far as gender like fluidity in a modern context, I definitely understand it. Like, because I mean, we've talked about this before. Sometimes I will wear a dress.
But you don't do that because you feel like a woman.
No, you don't have to feel like a woman to wear a dress.
But that's different.
You just have to want to wear the dress. I'm not doing it for comedy either. I'm just doing it because I like that. I like the way that it looks. I don't mind that. That looks good to me.
Yeah, and I'm not...
That was a nice dress on you, actually.
And it looked good, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I want to become a woman, or
sure?
am in any way vaguely, even slightly attracted to men.
Right.
It's got nothing to do with that.
No, and that would be sort of wrong to assume that you were, a kid, like, well, they're going to be gay, they're wearing dresses. Like, yeah, that would be an oversimplification of what that child is doing.
No, I mean, even as
actually, it wouldn't be an oversimplification.
Would you, if you saw a guy who was dressed in some female clothing, like wearing a skirt and heels or something, would you be uncomfortable? Would you think, this guy's gay, he wants to look at my butt or something?
No.
How would you feel?
If all I saw was them standing there,
sure.
Wait, would I, if I just saw you in a dress, I would
let's
automatically
say,
think,
you went to an event, or I don't know,
Let's say you went to, the after party for, the new Newport Beach Film Festival.
and you saw some crazy Richard walking around.
If I just saw it and there was no personal interaction, I wouldn't think anything of it. I would go, there's the thing. That person,
that's something that happened.
And to be honest, from far away, I probably, I think you shaved your face pretty good that day. I probably wouldn't have gone, that's a man, for sure. Because you can't really tell in a dress.
Might I go, is that a female? Is that a guy?
Yes.
Yeah, I might have that conversation in my head. But I wouldn't, dude, that guy's going to check me. He was going to touch my penis. No.
I'm not. Is that why you wear dresses? You want to touch Matt's penis?
I didn't know that. I thought that was the only way to get to it. I just figured there was a process. I didn't know there was paperwork.
Oh, well.
But, now, obviously, there might be a different reaction if I felt like you or said other person was trying to flirt with me. That might be a different reaction.
Yeah, but how would you know?
Wouldn't you be
They're
flattered?
Just talking to you? Because I've met people before guys who think that any girl that talks to them is flirting with them.
I definitely thought that when I was in high school.
Did you? That's funny to me. Because I never was like that. I never thought that way at all.
Yeah.
And I was the girl that everyone thought was flirting with them, and I had no clue.
I tried not to react oh, they're into me. I never tried to
but you
assert myself in that way.
You did just assume that they were talking to you?
No, not assume. I wondered. It always brought up, are they? Aren't they? Maybe they are. I don't know. Well,
that's the problem with being a guy and interacting with girls is that girls don't come on very strong, so you don't really know. And that's the thing about... That's another thing going back to masculinity. Guys are supposed to be really super assertive and aggressive and
then when we're not, we're don't be a girl and stuff like that.
I still it bothers me when my own sister will if she doesn't think that a guy is doing something that's the way it's supposed to be or something She'll call him a part of the female anatomy, or a colloquialism for the part of the female anatomy that
I know what
that reminds one of a kitty. And I don't like that at all. It makes me very uncomfortable that she does that, and I don't. That's that's the opposite of when women are held to this high beauty standard. Men are held to this high strength standard of no, you should be. You should be able to do anything. Yeah, you should be able... Not even heavy thing. Forget the heavy thing. You should be able to do anything. Yeah. You should be able to, you never be afraid of doing something.
Look, I don't want to kill the spider either.
Never be timid. Never be afraid. Never hesitate. Just go in there and just take the guy's head and rip it off and eat it.
Yeah, and
why can't you do that? You're a colloquialism.
Be a man.
You're a colloquialism for the female anatomy that reminds one of a kitty.
Meow.
That was great.
All right, so
I thought that was appropriate timing.
That was really, really good. The audience at home is clapping.
Yeah,
all three of them. You're welcome, 3 people at home, including Lauren's mom. I mean, grandmom. Sorry. All
right, so but we'll move on.
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
If you have anything to add to this conversation, you can tell us on Facebook. and we appreciate it because maybe.
And if you leave 43 comments, I'm not going to read all of them.
Tell
because
us that we're wrong and that gender is a fully established concept that no one can ever go against.
Matt's based group of friends is going to go on there and be like, well,
actually,
are you saying it's correct? Like, we need to convict them.
Actually, I'm convinced those people don't listen because there's a lot that they would comment on if they really did.
No one's listening to us right now. No one.
Overall, like
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
Every episode gets 200.
Soul Cycle, tacos, and sour candy.
So moving on. Come on now. That is great. Okay.
That was 3 syllables.
Come on, here we go. Woo. Let's go. Were we doing news stories?
Yeah, news.
Let's go, bam.
Zimmerman, go.
Bammo.
Yeah, so George Zimmerman tried to auction off his gun. Zimmerman, who in 2013 was found not guilty because of self-defense of killing Trayvon Martin.
Those dangerous Skittles.
Exactly. Had originally listed the gun used in the incident on Thursday, May 12th, on gunbroker.com. Basically, that site said, nope, no thanks. Then on Friday, the auction shifted to United Gun Group site, where bidders using fake names such as... I'm going to laugh at this, and
just say the names.
Yeah. Racist McShooty face.
That's pretty funny.
So basically, the auction was hit up with a bunch of fake bids with names like racist McShooty face, and but the fake bids brought it up to like $66 million. And then early Saturday, it was pulled, and then a few hours later, it was reposted. And I think so. Yesterday morning. It was because it's whatever site it's on. It has a bid on it, a starting bid. It has a buy now, and it has one of those things. So I think the starting bid was like $100,000, and then
did it sell?
As of right now, from what I looked at this morning, no. So.
Because no, I was going to say no one's that effed up, but there is.
Yeah, there
for
is.
sure.
Well, because I do know that like places like the Smithsonian and stuff wanted it, and
why would they want that?
They would want it because it's part of American history and culture.
American history and culture has gone far downhill.
Seriously,
but they don't. I don't think he would profit off it. I think he just would have to give it to them. So
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If he profits off of it, I would expect. Yeah, I mean, it would be exactly like with the whole OJ thing when he was trying to like come out with the book called "I Did It" and make a bunch of money off of it, and
then saying what wasn't the book
if I did it or something.
Yeah,
it was basically talking about what
this
he did.
This is what I would do.
This is what he did, and he just recounts the murder, and then Ron Goldman's like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know because of this specific case. But I would assume if it were to sell for $33 million, that a judge would say that money has to go to the victims' families. You murdering piece of crap.
Well, no, he's found innocent, so he.
Okay. Well, then I would hope that someone would at least have the decency who bought the gun to go back and shoot him with it.
I doubt that's going to happen.
I would. Then again, I don't have $33 million.
Well, who knows if it never sells? But I don't know. Do you?
Hey, and if you do that, this is just to put this out there for anyone out there who might want to do this. If you do that, guess what? After you kill him, you take the $33 million back. Technically, you didn't spend any money. And you killed a bad man.
We are not endorsing.
And you killed a bad man. Good for you.
We're not endorsing.
I am so proud of you, hypothetical person that doesn't exist.
We're not endorsing the killing of another person.
You may not be endorsing it. I can endorse whatever the hell I want.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, if someone shoots George Zimmerman, do you know how many tears I'll shed?
I'm not saying you should.
That would be zero.
I'm not saying you should. But
zero. I will not lose a minute of sleep. But someone shoots him.
Not being sad that he's dead is different than actually,
encouraging people to go out and kill him.
Yes.
Moving on.
What if
you really think someone's going to actually listen to this? No one's going to hear this podcast.
No.
No one will ever hear this.
So
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
you don't think? But here's the thing: do you think it should be legal for him to do this?
To sell it? No.
I just think he's a douche.
Yeah, because he definitely.
Then again, I also think he should have been convicted.
Well, yeah.
And yet he wasn't.
Yeah.
And I also think that those cops who beat Kelly Thomas and Fullerton to death, the mentally ill guy, the homeless mentally ill guy,
Yeah.
that beat him to death and were let off, shouldn't have been let off either. And I think that every case where a cop murders someone who wasn't even armed, they shouldn't get off. They shouldn't be, given suspended with paid leave, like...
Yeah,
I mean, come on!
it's a lot of.
Stop murdering people!
I don't know, Richard. That's kind of hard.
I guess.
I mean, people do bad things.
And this Zimmerman wasn't even a cop. He was just
No.
like neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
And where did that happen?
Where did that?
Yeah, what state did that happen in?
Florida.
Bam! Can't go see DC Talk and get shot. Get shot before you even get on the boat. You're trying to go, I'm going to go see DC. Ow! Oh, God, I've been shot!
Yeah.
Why
So
did
it
I
sounds
wear a
like we all
hoodie?
agree, bad idea.
Why did I
Yeah.
wear a hoodie?
I mean, a lot of people were like, "Yeah, he should sell it and then give the money to the family." I'm like, if you read that bit, there's no way in the he has no
He doesn't even
he
feel
has
like
no
he did
remorse.
anything wrong.
Nope. He's like that. He was fighting me. I'm like, okay, even though you followed him,
He saved himself from the Skittles.
you followed him.
Hey, have
even
you
though-
ever been threatened with Skittles? It's very threatening.
Yeah,
You'll wish you had a gun.
Yeah. If only if they... And I was sort of looking up on the case. When it came right down to it, it only was like a matter of a minute and a half of like where they didn't have some sort of like audio of recording of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And that minute and a half is the thing, reasonable doubt apparently that, even though for me it would be, no, he was told by the cop not to go and he did it anyway. He incited the situation.
Well, to me, it's like you killed the kid and he had Skittles, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Nor should you be allowed to carry a firearm from this point on.
Which I think he currently is.
Oh, I guarantee you he is. It's Florida.
All right, so second news story, go. All right, so this one comes out of from the New York Times, and it's bartenders can't refuse pregnant women alcohol, New York City says. So the city is explicitly is prohibiting restaurants and bars from refusing alcoholic drinks to mothers, expecting mothers. The new guidelines say that doing so would represent discrimination under the city's human rights law.
That's really weird.
Yeah, so when I read that, I'm like, discrimination, or is it safety of a child?
Well, that, and don't most businesses reserve the right to refuse service to anyone?
Well, but I mean, what if you just look pregnant and you're not pregnant, and then
Yeah, I mean, it does raise that question in the sense of you could be wrong, but
Does it really come up that often?
yeah, like how many people are that pregnant and they're like,
I need a highball. I need a Mai Tai. Give me a.
well, okay. So
and it's been proven too that you can have a glass of wine while you're pregnant and it's not an issue.
but it's still not recommended. It's
But a lot of doctors now say it's totally fine. I wouldn't do that.
it is yeah, for the most part, 1 or 2 a week, not the end of the world. But even that's the thing, like the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Surgeon General, the CDC itself, they all say that no, shouldn't risk it.
Well, I I really do think this again is making an issue out of a non-issue.
But this is
Issue out of a non-issue. How many women are going in there ordering?
Well, that's the thing. Why did this come up? Was there an issue? Were there lots of pregnant women wanting
I
to get
guess
wasted?
so. Reading the article, apparently there were a few cases where pregnant women weren't allowed into an event because, like, you can't they're just assuming this is a bar. You can't come in and drink. We're not going to.
Well, that's different.
Discrimination. I've gone to a bar and not drinking.
That's completely different.
Yeah.
An event.
Well, then there are things like I think one of them was like a concert where they just said it wasn't safe for you to be in here because you're pregnant. Well, I mean, just like it rides at Disneyland that say it's not safe for you to go in this.
Issue out of a non-issue.
I'm making it an issue out of non-issue, or
whoever the hell decided that to make a rule. Really, like how many women are going into bars and saying, "I'm coming into this bar and can you get me a shot of tequila? I'm 6.5 months pregnant."
It does seem like the things you're citing don't correlate very well with places not serving alcohol. These places were denying entry to people who there was no certainty they would drink alcohol.
Fine, but that's still not what the new guideline says.
Stupid as hell.
Okay, but how did they come up with the guideline? Because I'm not hearing any backup of a story that's saying, well, there was just an influx of pregnant ladies coming in trying to get schmammered. Like, they were trying to go to an event that had alcohol.
No, the Human Rights Commission is saying that telling a woman that she can't have alcohol because she's pregnant is here. Let me read the quote from them. While covered entities, meaning restaurants, may attempt to justify certain categorized exclusion based on maternal or fetal safety, using safety as a pretext for discrimination or as a way to reinforce traditional gender norms or stereotypes
because you don't want pregnant men to drink
is unlawful. That's my problem with this rule is where's the gender, like reinforcing a gender norm?
I honestly
have multiple problems with this rule.
I don't understand the correlation between anything that's in this story.
I agree. And on
there's
top of
no
that,
correlation.
Okay, so human rights, whatever, like women need to have the right to do that. Like if we're going to say, okay, you're pregnant, you can't have alcohol, which you should already know, that's like saying, well, your kids are obese, so you can't bring them to McDonald's or whatever. Like it's the health of the child. You're going to have the health of the child in any other situation.
And once again, it seems very different that it would be sparked by people being denied entry to things. I mean, again, those people didn't seem to have.
I think there are also other incidences of where people like, I'm only having one drink. Why are you telling me no? Actually, it did towards the end. It finally does say that. That it still doesn't. If the woman or anyone looks intoxicated, that they can, bars can.
I thought that was a rule anyway at bars.
That is a rule at bars, at
like
restaurants. You don't serve someone if they appear to be intoxicated, because if they leave that place and they go kill a family on the street, you are now liable because you overserved them.
Right, but the sort of the restaurant, whatever group together in New York, whatever they call themselves, they're basically saying, well, now to have this guideline, it now muddies the water of like, so we can't just not serve them at all. We have to wait until they look intoxicated. But dude,
they're drinking for two. It's going to take more booze.
No, I'm just saying before they're looking intoxicated. They're doing damage to their child.
First off, there's a lot of other ways you're doing damage to your children in the world.
And then what if you have the child and it comes out deformed, and then you can sue the bar
for
giving you the booze?
No, you can't. But if you're a woman and you're actively drinking during your pregnancy, I guarantee you are probably going to do that at home because you're going to get enough crap from other people.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
if I was pregnant and I was like, well, the doctor said I can have a glass of wine, I think I'm gonna have a glass of wine, I would not do that in public if I was visibly like, oh look, I clearly am with child.
Yeah,
but some people have no shame about anything, you know that.
So I just think it's the logic of their statement of like sort of telling women or telling pregnant women that they can't have alcohol and using that. I mean, it's not a societal what's the traditional gender role that we've shoved on women that alcohol causes damage to your child.
How ashamed should we be of society if we really have to make laws about common sense things?
We already do.
But it's really, we need to make a law that you can't drink when you're pregnant, when obviously you shouldn't drink while you're pregnant.
Yeah, but this law says you can drink when you're pregnant.
That's the problem.
But it's a non-issue. They're making a law of what's there right now. I could be pregnant and go order booze right now, and now they're just saying, well, now that's okay, even though it was already okay.
Well,
let's just put a law around it.
It wasn't technically okay. They were. Well, people.
Was there a law against it?
No, sure.
Okay, so then it was okay.
Well, yeah, even if a pregnant woman goes to a liquor store and buys a whole bunch of vodka, they're not going to even question her. But if they look underage, then you gotta. And if they have someone with them that looks underage, then they have to card that.
True. That's when we were at Target and we, selling alcohol and stuff. There were lots of rules and guidelines.
Yeah, even if they had someone with them, like there was a kid, you have to card the kid too. You're like, oh, sorry, no. If you're gonna buy this booze, you have to not have the kid with you in line.
Yeah,
because you might be buying the booze for the kid. What the hell is this?
I've had that happen before when I went shopping with my mom at Total Wine, and I was 19 or 20 or whatever, and they're carding me, and I'm like,
yep.
And I'm like, this is my mom. What are you gonna do? No. You're not gonna give her alcohol because she brought her daughter to the store?
Yeah, but see, you've been born.
Well, that's true.
If you hadn't been born yet, then that's another issue. Cool. Then you can buy as much booze as you want.
I get what you're saying. You're saying you don't see this happening a lot anyway.
No, and I think that now we're making a law about something that's already there. There's not a law about it, but pregnant women are already allowed to do that. So let's make a law that now makes it okay.
But bars and restaurants were probably at some point refusing to serve alcohol to a pregnant woman.
Well, that's the thing. It's you didn't cite any specifics that sparked this law.
That's my fault. The article.
That's a strange article.
Sucked.
Yeah, the article sucked.
Yeah,
picked a suck article.
Yeah.
Let's assume that there have been, let's say, 10 incidences in New York City where a woman complained of not being served alcohol. What difference does that do to your opinion?
Well, I cannot imagine this being an actual issue. I think this is, again, we're making now a rule against something that's a non-issue.
So you can't imagine...
Just like the Target thing. Those people were using the restroom anyways.
Cited references to things like people not being allowed into venues.
That's
where they had alcohol.
Who wrote this article? They suck. They need to.
Well, it came out of the New York Times.
New York Times, get some better reporters.
Yeah, a guy who writes for the New York Times that Matt refuses to name. Go get a better job.
Because I didn't write it down.
You suck.
Yeah.
Worst reporter ever.
Will
you now?
I'll post the article so people can see.
They can see the bad reporting in person.
For me, it was just the logic of the rule of saying it's implying that the reason that they're turning them away is because they hate women and don't want women to have any fun, so they're turning them away.
Also, it sounds to me like someone bring up a lawsuit against Disneyland because they have a heart condition. They were very obvious about it, but they weren't allowed to ride the roller coaster because then Disney would be somehow liable for their heart attack, And then they're suing. They're like, you're discriminating against people with heart conditions by not letting them ride this ride.
Even though doing this would have killed me. It's like,
I wanted to die on that roller coaster, damn it.
So it's just that. I didn't get the logic of the rule. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense because if it is in fact harmful, shouldn't we be concerned what people are doing?
But again, why are we making everyone else's things our business?
It's different when you're talking about the health and welfare of a child. It's not a matter of, if someone wants to go out drinking every weekend, I'm not necessarily going to stop them unless it brings harm to me. But when you're talking about a pregnant woman who might be drinking and harming her child, I'll say this, drinking excessively, then I think we should care. I think we should, say, I'm sorry, we're not going to serve you alcohol because we're not going to contribute to the damage you might be doing to this child. I think that's okay. I don't think...
Well, I don't think it's much different than if they were to bring their 4-year-old to the bar and say, I want one for him too. Because the child is connected to their system and is using the same stuff they're using in there.
Yeah, so I think it's within the grounds of logic and reason to say, we're not going to do this. I think safety is not like some social construct we made up. It actually does cause actual damage. We know that. Like, fetal alcohol syndrome is actually a thing. So, I don't know. That's how I looked at it, and I was just reading it. I was like, the logic here is far-fetched and dumb. So,
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
All right, so...
Yeah, that.
So thanks for hanging out with us, and for about an hour. So before we head out, we have 2 things I want to mention. One, remember that we are moving the X-Men event to... Thursday night, the 26th, right? Yes, the May 26th.
That's kind of news, right?
Yeah, so Thursday, May 26th at night, we're going to go see X-Men, probably still at Triangle Square. I don't care what they call it.
The Triangle.
Whatever.
They're hip now.
And I'm guessing somewhere around 7-ish. So just plan on that. Sorry we had to change the date. But
yeah, just blame me and my ugly dress.
So, but the last thing, this is more of a question that we all would like to ask.
Mostly Matt.
You guys, the listeners. So if you've listened this far, probably should have put this at the front. Now I just have to think about it.
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
Anyway, so before you know it, we will probably hit our 100th episode. This is, I think, episode 77. So we had been talking, mostly me. I wanted to do a live episode, but the question I got from these two, as well as my wife, is who do I think would show up? And so that's what I want to know from you guys.
By a live episode, don't confuse them the way you confused me. You
Right.
don't mean live streaming on the internet.
Right.
You mean like recorded, but recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Right. So where we want to know if you guys would come watch us do this podcast in front of you.
Here's a question they would come up with.
Yes.
Would they be in any way involved in the podcast?
Yes,
Would there be like a Q&A period?
There could be. Yes, there would be.
Okay, that's
So,
interesting.
my plan is to ask some past guests to come back, and we've had some people that are in bands, and maybe we can get some people to play some music and make it more of a thing. So we want to know if you'd be interested in that. If you would come to that, it would be somewhere in Orange County.
Hey, Matt, would it cost any money to go to this?
I'm thinking yes.
You don't even know, do you?
Well, it just depends on what we decide to do. I'm thinking yes,
I'm
because
just asking what they would be asking.
my intent was to supply some amount of food, and that can't be always done free. Like, we can show up and we can sit around and talk for free.
Hey, Matt, approximately how much would it cost?
I'm hoping no more than $10, but it would probably be like $5 or $7. That's my thinking. But I don't know. We have to find out if people are interested in it. So if that sounds like something you'd want to come to, if you can interact with us, you can ask us questions. There'll be some music.
So it literally wouldn't just be us sitting at a table.
We'll
on a
still
stage.
do this whole thing, but it would be more. It would be an extension of it.
There would be entertainment.
Yes, it would. Richard and I might get up and do some sketch comedy stuff.
And box.
And some other stuff.
And I'll stare at them and laugh.
Yes, exactly. So, but if that sounds like something you'd go to, let us know, because if you're not going to come to it, we don't want to do it. That's, so yeah. All right, thanks for hanging out with us. And please, on that issue, please give us feedback, because it's really important to us. Because I really want to do it. I think it'd be a good time. I think people would have fun. I just have to know that they want to.
You know what's a really good scene? The scene in Labyrinth when Sarah and Jareth are dancing at that costume ball and he's singing. That's a really good scene. Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
All right. So,
On that note, time to get the heck out of here.
all right. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. And we will see you next time.
We won't really see them.
No.
We never really
And
see
they won't really, they'll hear us next
They'll
time.
hear us.
They'll
Okay.
hear us next time.
Pornbugs and Muffler Men.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.